Yo, what's going on, world? It's Shot and Nine Eat the Reaper. I'm back here giving you another um small gem today. Uh what show the channel, everything's picking up, Matrix Unlocked, it's I feel like this is gonna grow into something beautiful. I think the people are receiving the information, the information is getting out there. We definitely love the feedback. Um some of the comments have been very positive. Some of the comments have been, motivating and inspirational to keep things going. Um, so for the most part, I want to start off by thanking everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's another Friday. And I just wanted to come chop it up with you guys, come chop it up and, just test the waters. Um, put out a couple videos on the We Were Already Here. Um, I did a part one and two. Part one received it's about 100 views right now. It's only about 28 minutes long. Part two, I just dropped that on the sneak tip as a follow-up, you know what I'm saying, for people that, wanted a little more information, a little more details regarding the information that was here. It dove into like the Mississippian culture, the mound builders. Um, what I think we also talked about Walter Plecker, making it or outlawing it or making it illegal for, at the time we was only considered Negro or color, making it illegal for us to identify as Indian or Native or, tribal or anything like that nature. So yeah, two covered a lot. So if you've seen one and you haven't seen two, two is pretty much the stamp where you see the piece of the puzzle coming together, how we were not allowed to identify ourselves as Indian if we had at least one grandparent out of our four grandparents. You get two grandparents on each side. You had at least one grandparent that was already on the books as Negro or color. You definitely had to identify as Negro or color. Whereas if you were of Caucasian descent back in those same times, if you had one grandparent that was considered Indian or Native American, then you could also classify as Native American, giving you sort of like claim to the land. So, it's a lot of information that's out here. A lot of information is out here. And I try to, drop the Easter eggs and breadcrumbs, you know what I'm saying, bit by bit, because, you don't want to just give everything, at one time when it's like an overload. So if you notice, we talked about the mounds, which are basically pyramids in America, so the pyramids was just basically here. I mean, not basically here, but I was just breaking it down basically to show you that it was already a culture here. It was already a thriving community here, and our people built that. The U.S. government came later and built they built this country that we call today United States of America on top of our society, enslaved the people that was already here on the land, threw them into slavery, and started calling them Negro and colored. They did also bring over, I want to highlight that they did also bring over Africans from the continent and also mixed in with the people that was already over here. Now, the way they tell you the Atlantic slave trade happened, it didn't happen on that large scale. It couldn't happen on the large scale like they were saying. People have done the research, done the numbers. It's no way you putting 400 slaves, or I ain't even gonna call them slaves, I'm gonna call them Africans. You no way you're gonna put 400 Africans on a ship and travel from West Africa all the way to the Americas, which took 2 months. You had to feed all them people. Those people would have had to been showering just to keep, viruses down and sickness down. And the amount of people that were on the ships were probably no more than like 10, 15 people per trip, 2 months trips. So it's no way you can get that many people on the bottom of a ship chained to each other and, forced to live at the bottom of the ship, and not die off from all the viruses that would have flooded the entire ship. You know what I'm saying? We already had thriving economies, trade set up between the Tainos on the islands. We already was trading between the islands and the mainlands. A movie I want y'all guys to pay attention to, if you look at the Avatar, and you look at Avatar parts 1 and 2. Now, the director of the Avatar was said to, I think they rushed him at some event, and somebody yelled, whatever his name is, hey, where are the black people? Why ain't no black people in Avatar? He said they're blue. So the Avatar, all right, get this now. The Avatar is basically telling you the story of the European nations coming over to the Americas, discovering the land of milk and honey, the promised land, the land that had 200-foot trees, the land that had the people that was connected to the land that could actually go to these trees and actually get this spiritual energy and be able to communicate with their ancestors. All of that stuff was already set up here. That was what our ancestors did. They're giving you these small doses. Then they're making it seem like, this is fictional. The Avatar was going to a planet, the new world. The new world is what you learned in your history books growing up as what? The Americas, the land of milk and honey. The promised land is the Americas, So what I'm basically getting at is the movies is basically showing you guys, how they attack, what they did. Now think about, if you look at Avatar 1, then you go to Avatar 2, then Avatar 2 brought in the islanders. That's the Caribbeans. The people on the mainland needed help. They was going in exile because they was being hunted. So they had to go to the islands and, hey, go to the chiefs of the island and beg for them to let them live in exile. So he went to the chiefs in the island, and the husband and the wife of the island, the chief clan, because and I like to say, as far as native tribes, a lot of the tribes have been known as being matriarchal. You see where the father looks at the mother in that movie, and he gets the okay once she gives the nod. After they beg their case to him, she gives the okay for the husband to go ahead and let them stay there in exile and hide out, even knowing that these people were coming and they was going to destroy everything in their way until they found those people that they was looking for. And they was pretty much the stars of the show. So that's true. We actually communicated back and forth. It wasn't cut off like they try to make it seem. Like they try to make it seem like it was the people in Jamaica, what we call modern day Jamaica, didn't know about the people in Haiti, in modern day Haiti. Those people knew about each other. They actually communicated amongst each other. They had royal weddings amongst each other, and they did it with the people on the mainland as well. The native people on the mainland as well. So let's get out of this. Before 500 years ago, we was all hunter-gatherers all over the world, and hunter-gatherers in Africa, hunter-gatherers in South America, hunter-gatherers in North America. That wasn't the case. It was a whole global empire over here. How do you know this? The Moors. You know what I'm saying? Get the information. The Moors was on this land. You always hear about the Moors in Africa, but you don't hear about the Moors that was here. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear about the Moors that had built all of these cities up and had these modern day what we call castles on the land. You know what I'm saying? Some of those universities, some of those ancient buildings in these large cities, they look like they 500 or 600 years old, cathedrals and stuff like that. That stuff was already here. The infrastructure was already set up. You know what I'm saying? They just moved in and washed it down. They whitewashed it down and told you, oh, this building was built in 17 something. This building was built in 18 something, 16 something. You know what I'm saying? That's a lie. Some of these buildings are thousands of years old over here. The tunnel system in New York. The subway system. They just one day had a subway in New York. I think in the late 1800s. They just had a whole bustling subway system that took you from Brooklyn to Staten to Manhattan to, you know what I'm saying? All of that. They just dug it out. They just did that. Think about it. They just did that. It's underground tunnels all over these cities over here in what we call the United States of America. It's underground cities. It's cities beneath our cities. That's why Jordan Peele did the Us movie. That's why they talk about the tunnels now down there. I mean, not down there, but over there in LA. They talk about the tunnel system now that connects the mansion, the Playboy mansion with the other mansions and, all of Hollywood. That stuff is not new. Those are 1,000-year-old tunnels. Who did that? Why is California named after Queen Khalifa? Or I shouldn't even say queen, because Khalifa, that's a matriarchal figurehead, a matriarchal chief. The Khalifa, the Khalifas. It wasn't just one Khalifa, it was several Khalifas. You know what I'm saying? That's where California gets its name. Look at the map. The map has so many Aboriginal and indigenous names. Don't you think that if this wasn't a thriving town, how come we got Mississippi in the South, and then you go to places like Wisconsin and you got Milwaukee, you got Kenosha, you got all of these Indian or native sounding names. This whole shit was mapped out. It was mapped out. This was a thriving nation of people. Well, I ain't gonna say nation, because nation is the sense of what we live in today. That's under the government being a citizen, being a ward of the state. But they were basically nations. You know what I'm saying? We was already over here. We was already over here doing our thing, yo. Don't never let nobody tell you different and discredit your history only back to slavery when we supposedly all came off a ship. I'm not saying the dungeon in Ghana is fake. The dungeon in Ghana is very real. People go there every year. It's a tourist attraction. People talk about feeling that those spirits. those spirits over there. They talk about feeling that because it really happened. It's really spirits in that dungeon. You know, people died in there. Not everybody made it to the other side. Only thing I'm telling you is just because it was going on over here where they was having a trade of people, using people as property, that doesn't mean that the whole South America, islands, North America is only West African. They tell you that to steal your land, to make you feel like you're not from where you are already. You don't have no claim to this land. This is your land. That's all I'm saying. We always been tribal people. We have it in our heart. You know, if we don't, say for instance, if we're not even taught it, our genetic memory is going to revert back to the tribes. And I say so because if you think about it, gang culture comes from being tribal. Those young guys that formed those gangs in LA and Chicago and around the cities or the nations of America back in the 40s and 50s, those gangs was actually here to protect the community. They was doing that to protect the community. People feel like it wasn't no racism in Illinois and Chicago back in the days when they was migrating. No, they thinking the racism was consolidated to the South. No, it was plenty of racism going on in Chicago. Plenty of racism. And those guys that moved out of that Mississippian mound culture, those descendants of those mound builders, moved up there. And then you got so many chiefs that popped out everywhere in Chicago. You got Jeff Fort, Free Malik Angel Bay. You got Larry Hoover. You got Fred Hampton, Black Panther Party. They never labeled that a gang because they was able to infiltrate the Black Panthers and they destroyed them from within. But they was going to eventually, if the Black Panthers would have stayed around, they would have eventually had them under the gang. They would have had them under the term as a gang. The Black Panther Party was organizing food drives, giving away food. You know what I'm saying? Fred Hampton was feeding the people, and he was murdered at 21. You had these young kids, 21. I know there's some cats out there listening now. You 21, you thinking you grown, you old, you still a baby. Cause you got like, if you're fortunate enough, you got like another 60 years on this planet. 21, 25. It's not to slight you. It's to tell you like, hey, you might have accomplished more than a 50-year-old. However, your mind is still growing. You're still evolving. Fred Hampton was 21 when he was killed by the federal government by way of sending those CIA agents. I mean, not those CIA agents, but those Chicago Police Department guys in there. They used William O'Neill. They used the Judas, the drug, Fred Hampton. They couldn't even wake him up when they was knocking the door down. They couldn't even wake him up, you know, in front of his pregnant wife. Fred Hampton Jr. is still here, y'all. Tap in with the OG. Tap in with him. You know, I heard him speak. He's very good. He's articulate, just like his father. You know, he got that same, he got that same fire, that same royal bloodline. Them guys come from that Mississippian culture. And the Mississippian culture ain't just one state. That was damn near spread across the Southeast, Louisiana. You had the treetops, the treetop tribes, the tribes that used to, you know what I'm saying, walk in the trees. We was one with nature. The ones that used to ride the alligators. Beyonce be dropping so many gems in her shit. Y'all just don't be catching it. Y'all don't be catching it. A lot of these artists be trying to tell their people. They trying to tell y'all because they can't just come out with this stuff. Not with their platform. Their platform will get shut down. And God bless God bless Ye. I love Ye. I love Ye. I don't care what nobody say. He might be outspoken. He might say some man has been telling you guys. He been telling you guys. This is our shit. This is our land. We from here. He telling you guys. He's autistic. When he go on those rants like a kid, y'all looking at him like he's the 48-year-old person that's, you know what I'm saying, that's able to I guess maneuver like somebody that's their age. That's not Ye. Ye is autistic. You can tell. Yeah, I had a little glitch, yo. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened when you get the gym dropping. You know what I'm saying? You waking up them spirits, man. You waking up them evil spirits that's around trying to prevent the information from going forward. So people like, how the gangs. So if you saying, because people deal, I understand people deal with surface shit. These brothers out here killing each other. We ain't trying to hear that gang shit is good. It had a good point to it. It started for good. A lot of older people ain't trying to hear that. They ain't understanding that. And I understand because some of them done buried their kids. So anything got something to do with a gang, they ain't with that. Nah, they don't want to hear that shit. But let me tell you, it started for good. It was corrupted. It was corrupted by COINTELPRO, CIA. Shoot, you ain't got to believe me. The proof is in the pudding. How old was Jeff Ford when he was organizing? How old was Jeff Ford when he was organizing? They said Jeff Ford and Eugene Hairston started the Blackstone Rangers in 1959. 1959 is when they started the Blackstone Rangers. They later became the Black Peastone Rangers. They later became El Rookin. When you had them Moors coming in there with them fezzes on, them hats, them red hats. $1959, right? Jeff Fort was born in 1947 in Aberdeen, Mississippi, and started what they know now, or what we know now, is became a gang. But he started a youth group. That was a youth group. Them was babies. They was 12. They was 12, 13, organizing the whole community. Only other cultures you know or you hear about 12 and 13-year-old chiefs on the land is the native cultures around the world, such as the ones that you hear about in Africa. How old was David Barksdale? David Barksdale was another one, 13 maybe, when they started up. 13. And yeah, they had a lot of adrenaline, a lot of hormones. They had a lot of clashes with the other groups. You know what I'm saying? Because it really wasn't no adult leadership with that when they were starting out. But as they got older, they branched and came together. And then you hear about Jeff Fort and Larry Hoover and David Barksdale starting the Main 21, where they was trying to make it so that the 21 organizations or the 21 for the conversation, I'm gonna call them gangs, but I hate to call them gangs because I know what the intentions was. But the Main 21 was supposed to be a group of a commission. All these guys was in their teens, like 15, 16, and already organizing and trying to get on that wave where they actually are rocking with each other and helping each other protect the communities. But you know what? Every time it was a peace treaty amongst the gangs, you know what happened? You know what happened? Somebody was co-opted into shooting somebody or going somewhere and starting some ruckus. The same way they use people to call Malcolm, threaten him, turn him, turn him and brother Elijah. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad against each other. Brother Malcolm, or shall I say the Honorable Malik El Shabazz. COINTELPRO ain't just started, y'all. Y'all been hearing stories of COINTELPRO going in the neighborhoods, dropping off dope. Y'all heard the Freeway Ricky Ross story. Y'all know that's true. Every time we start something, they figure out a way to tear it down. Then you say, why? Why does it keep happening? Mind you, these was kids. You seen how CIA and COINTELPRO go to adults. You might have one rogue dude in your camp. That's why they say the weakest link is you only strong as your weakest link. If you got a weak link in there ready to, mess up the whole organization just to seize the day and be the king, the new king, had that person thrown in jail and I'm taking over. But y'all don't hear me though. I'm really spitting about this gang culture because I want it to stop. I want the violence to stop. I want these guys to get on these treaties. I want them to know that sometimes them people that's coming through your hood shooting ain't the people you thinking it is. Sometimes it's people that's on government payroll. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, the sleep spell is wiser. It's lifting. It's more and more people every day coming to discover their true selves, their true identity. The sleep spell is lifting. Y'all do the research on the sleep spell of King Gu, the curse of Leviathan. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, my phone blowing up. I don't know, these guys, they got something to tell me. It better be good. You know what I'm saying? And y'all be careful with y'all energy, Y'all be careful and guard your energy, your frequencies, man. You know what I'm saying? Guard your frequencies, your energies. That's very important. That's very important. I was just thinking about that, man. There's a lot of people going through stuff, man. It's a lot of people going through some psychological stuff since January 20th. Get off that. Pull your pants up, put your clothes on, buckle your belt, stick your chest out, and go outside. That one man ain't gonna stop all of us. Cut it out. Stop with all this fear mongering on the internet. All of this, we going back to chains bullshit, yo. We've been fighting since the beginning. We've been fighting since they got here. Ain't nobody going back. Get off that fear mongering. If y'all on the internet and y'all got somebody sharing with y'all 24 hours a day, nothing but what's going on in the White House and how they doing this and doing that, man, listen, save your peace. If you got to block people, block them. These are energy vampires, and they don't know it. These are energy vampires. You wake up every day and you thinking about what Donald Trump doing. You thinking about what Elon Musk doing. No, study them. Study how they move. Infiltrate their system. They done infiltrated us. That's the only way to play. You can't win no physical war. It's mental. Learn how to move. You know what I'm saying? All that fear mongering, yo. We only put on this earth for a certain amount of time. Enjoy it. Love life. That's all. Guard your energy. People that's going through stuff need people to talk to. You might feel like you can't talk to nobody. Reach out. You know what I'm saying? But be mindful not to push that energy on that person. Spiritual transfers. You ever been in a good mood? Somebody called, said something wrong, and messed up your whole day? Spiritual transfer. Now that person feel good. They didn't piss you off. It's some people that got the spirit on them that wakes up every day and see how many people they can piss off. Guard your energy. Guard it. You know what I'm saying? Because the frequencies is changing. The earth is changing. The earth is heating up. This shit is all scientific. It's been here. You know what I'm saying? It's been written. I'm going to give you a perfect example. When you listen to them ladies speak, or when you listen to them ladies rap now, when you listen to those ladies rap now, and I hate to, and I'm not going to come down and bash on the sisters because these sisters are coming from impoverished environments. But I'm just saying, when you listen to them sisters rap now and the stuff that gets played on the radio, and then you think about take that person, put them in 85 and let that same stuff come out, it won't go nowhere. People would have shut that down in 85. They changed the volume. They changed the frequency. Now, fast forward in 2025, you hear that, and it's second nature. You don't think about it. It's the energy. The energy frequency has changed on the people. They doing this too. They doing this as well on a higher scale. It's microcosms and macrocosms. I'm just giving you the macro and the micro in the same conversation. The macro is the hip hop, the music in hip hop is the frequencies changed. People are changed. People are talking about they can't find a good person no more. Everybody is doing this this transactional dating now. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of good people out here. There's plenty of good people out here. Guard your energy. Guard your energy. Guard your energy. Your frequency is the frequency around you is very important. Turn that hip hop off sometimes. Turn that R&B off sometimes. Put on some quiet jazz. Put on some Sade. You know what I'm saying? Your soul need it. Change the frequency. That's what we doing here on Matrix Unlocked. We here to change the frequency, yo. We here to put out that good positive energy. We might talk about a negative event, but we're gonna talk about more positive than anything. The only time we're talking about the negative is just to shed light on it. You know? And I love you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, and I appreciate every single one of y'all that like the post, that, you know, comment, whether you good or bad. I don't give a damn. What they say now, turn me up. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it all. You know what I'm saying? May all y'all stay blessed. I'm sending out nothing but positive vibes, positive energy. You know? Peace to the gods and the earths, yo. I'm out.